Hey everyone! Welcome back to another Wuthering Waves video. Now, if you've been playing the game for a while, you've been probably realized that Kuro has a way of making you fall in love with almost every single character they release. Whether it's the stunning design, the smooth animation, or just how fun each one feels to play. And let's be honest, that's amazing. But also dangerous, because for whales, it's not really a problem. They can afford to pull for every single new character and grab a few sequences on top of that. But for Dolphin and free-to-play players like most of us, pulling without clear strategy can really mess up your account long-term. And that's why I decided to make this video, to help you save your Wuthering Waves account before you make any big mistakes. I've been playing since day one, and over time, I've learned a lot about how to build an account that's both strong and future-proof. So if this video helps you out in any way, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe. It really helps a lot and let me keep making more WUWA content for you guys. Alright, let's get started with the first tip. Number 1. Obtain must-have units in Wuthering Waves. There are 3 main types of team setups that I personally recommend for all of you, depending on how you like to play in Wuthering Waves. Number 1, Hyper Carry, number 2, Double DPS, and number 3, Quick Swap. So let's start with the most common one, the Hyper Carry team. This setup focuses on one main DPS backed by a healer or buffer like Verina or Shorekeeper, and sub-DPS buffer like Shi1 or Yuno, and your main DPS like Galbrena or Agasta. The second one is the Double DPS setup. This usually includes healing buffer plus 2 DPS character that can share field time. For instance, Changli and Calcharo with Shorekeeper supporting them. And lastly, we have Quick Swap team. These are pretty fun. You still have a healing buffer like Shorekeeper, but you're constantly switching between 2 or 3 character to take advantage of long animation window. So while one character's animation is playing, you swap to another to deal more damage or apply buff. This playstyle feels fast and fluid, and it's great for people who enjoy action-heavy rotations. Now, across all of these team types, there's one pattern you'll actually notice. Healing buffer like Verina and Shorekeeper show up everywhere. That's because they provide a massive value for both offense and defense. They're the glue that holds every single team together. Let's take Verina for example. Her auto skill boosts all type damage amplification by 15%. And this buff lasts for a full 30 seconds. Well, that means no matter which playstyle you use, which is Hyper Carry, Double DPS, or even Quick Swap, Verina buff are always active when you need them the most. Shorekeeper works the same way, and her crit rate and crit damage buff can save your DPS unit if you're missing substat or doesn't have a great echo rolls yet. These type of buffs are separate multipliers in WUWA's damage formula, so they scale extremely well even in harder content. That's why these healers and buffers are practically immune to power creep. Their value stays high no matter how many new DPS characters come out. So if you don't have Verina or Shorekeeper yet, make them your top priority. They're not just support, they're your account's long-term insurance policy. Now let's talk about the heart of the game, which is fun. The main reason any of us play Wuthering Waves in the first place is because we enjoy the characters. Whether it's their animation, playstyle, or just their vibe, everyone has a favorite. Some players love seeing big numbers, the type of players who chase massive numbers with characters like Kartitia, Agasta, or Galbrena. And others love mechanics, like how Prolova or Zani have a unique playstyle that rewards skill and timing. No matter which group you fall into, the most important thing is that you build your account around the character you actually enjoy. Because when you enjoy your characters, you'll naturally invest in them more, and that makes your account stronger over time. You'll be motivated to farm their echo sets, tune your substats, and master their rotation. As long as you understand their kit and how to support them properly, you can take any character into endgame content and can still perform well. My personal recommendation is to pick at least 3 characters you really love, and ideally 1 for each role, which is main DPS, sub DPS, and support. And if possible, get their signature weapon. That way, you'll have a solid core team that you can keep improving without worrying about re-rolling your entire account every update. Next up will be team variety. Team building in Wuthering Waves is actually a lot more flexible than other games. That's because Wuthering Waves doesn't force you to bring specific elements to counter shields or trigger reaction, so instead, it's all about damage scaling types. Things like basic attack damage, resonance skill damage, heavy attack damage, resonance liberation damage, and echo attack damage. Every DPS has a different ratio between this damage type. For example, Carlota mainly scales off resonance skill damage, while Galbrena deals most of her damage through echo skill damage and heavy attack damage, and Agasta leans heavily towards heavy attack damage. If you go to sites like Pridwin, you can actually see this breakdown. Carlota damage profile is around 83% resonance skill damage, while Agasta is roughly 74.6% heavy attack damage, and Galbrena sits around 57.1% echo skill damage. So what does this mean for your team? It means that when you're picking sub DPS or support characters, you should focus on the type of damage they buff, not necessarily their element. Let's use Galbrena as an example. She benefits most from the buffer who boosts echo skill damage, like Shiyuan. Because Shiyuan, he gives a huge amplification to echo skill damage for other resonator, making him an enabler for this team. So even if Shiyuan isn't the same element as Galbrena, his buff still provides stronger overall synergy. On the other hand, for characters like Havoc Rover, whose damage is spread more evenly between basic and skill damage, attribute amplification can sometimes be better. That's why Dungeon can outperform Sanwa as sub-DPS for Havoc Rover in some setups. 4-star sub-DPS buffer can also be pretty solid, especially if you have them at sequence 6, since they often give around 20% attack buff, but they won't always future-proof your characters like 5-star supports do. Which bring us to the final and most important section. So what does future-proofing your account actually mean? In simple terms, it's about building a roster that can stay strong even when new patches drop and new characters are released. Well, to do that, you need to make sure your main DPS character can meet the endgame damage threshold at S0, and that they have a dedicated support who help them overcome their weaknesses. But wait, let's break this down. First, let's talk about dedicated support. In WUWA, meta isn't defined by the element or by raw DPS alone. It's defined by synergy. How well your DPS works with their sub-DPS or buffer. For example, Jinxie. Jinxie is already one of the strongest DPS unit in the game. But imagine when a future sub-DPS drop who perfectly synergizes with her. One who provides coordinated attacks, boosts spectral damage, and enhances resonance skill damage. Well, at that point, Jinxie's power level skyrockets, and she'll stay relevant for many patches before HP inflation catches up. And that's what makes a character future-proof. The second part of future-proofing is identifying the challenges your DPS might face in different endgame modes. Let's take Carlota as an example. She's a fantastic for single-target fights like Tower of Adversity, but not so great in multi-target modes like Whimpering Waste, where you need a consistent AoE damage. So how do you fix that? You can pair her with Cantarella, who not only amplifies resonance skill damage, but can also control enemies and deal AoE damage with her Hazy Dream skill. This lets you handle multiple waves without losing DPS uptime. While Zezi is technically Carlota's dedicated sub-DPS, Cantarella works better in certain situations, and that's what makes team variety is so powerful. Also, on multi-wave fights, DPS like Gian and Camellia is great with multi-target modes like Whimpering Waste, since their kit is best against mobs of enemies thanks to their strong AoE damage. So it's not about running one fixed comp forever, it's about having multiple sub-DPS and support who can adapt to whatever content the game throws at you. And that same logic applies to hybrid characters too. Take Bran for instance. He's insane in single-target fights when paired with Sanwa. But in multi-target modes like Whimpering Waste, you can switch to pairing him with Changli to cover wider areas, aka AoE, and maintain consistent DPS. At the end of the day, consistency is more important than burst damage when it comes to farming and endgame scoring. The more option you have, the easier it becomes to adapt. So if you apply these all tips, you'll end up with a balanced and unstoppable Wuthering Waves account, and one that can handle every single endgame challenge without needing to pull every new banner that comes out. But remember, if you're new, don't rush it. Building a strong account takes time. Enjoy the process, experiment with different teams, and learn as you go. If YouTube got it right, you should be seeing another Wuthering Waves video guide pop up on your screen right now. go and check that out. Maybe there's a new information that you guys actually need. But anyways, I guess that's it for now. Thank you very much for watching. Quirk signing out.